What is up, everybody? Jake here with Joey and Tris for the first time since very early 2024. Oh my God, I feel like I was in this square just yesterday. It's good to see you both. It's fun to be back in the war room. You know what I mean? It's like I do a lot of like streams or whatever, and I'm in here, but now it's like in the Discord call with both of you. I'm like, oh, this is like it's like a meeting, dude. It's like, oh, we're something's happening right now. Yeah.
Yeah, where's the direct to react to?
Where's the direct? Oh man.
Oh my God. Seriously, it feels weird.
Yeah. So obviously, you both are no longer at Game Explain, and
Correct.
now you're free wild stallions on your own
It feels good to be free. It feels good to be free.
in the great savannah that is the internet. You're just, who knows who will put that little saddle on you next and give you a ride to the nearest town, walk you into a saloon, buy you a drink, start a duel. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
So I fear that I'm glad you both went along with that. I felt that it was starting to get away from me, but that sounded good.
Yeah,
it sounded entertaining, which is what matters.
Okay, all right, great. So here's what we're doing today. I thought it would just be fun. There have been a lot of like games in the past year that we haven't each other like really talked. I haven't heard either one of like your, I'm sure, like terrible takes about the games that came out in 2024. And I'd love to catch up. I'd love to hear a little bit about that. And I've got a bunch of questions that I just wrote, kind of like generally, kind of like almost like exit interview type stuff. You know, because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if you do not feel this way. But I feel like this must feel like a totemic, a kind of like the beginning of a new era, if you will. This is the next phase. Your life's going to be different now than it was for the past however many years. Is that the right temperature ish?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, yes, there's the worry about, oh, where am I going to go next? I need a job still, but like, it's early enough. Tell me if you've ever felt this way too, Jake. It's early enough right now where I feel like, okay, I can have a little bit of fun right now. I can, like, sure, there's the job search that needs to happen, of course, but there's also just like, I'm checking my YouTube Studio app every day thinking, who joined the cult now? Who joined the Ferris wheel cult? Because this is exciting. I've had a huge outpour of support for the past few days. My subscriber count jumped from like 3,400. Like it's been stagnant at that for like 4 years since I haven't posted on that channel for like ages. But then it jumped all the way. It's currently at like 5,030. I'm like, holy crap. I did not think that was ever going to happen. Not in a million years. So right now it's a little bit of fun right now.
You got the momentum. You got the good vibes.
Yes.
You're feeling invigorated. Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Tris, are you feeling similarly?
Yeah, I'm definitely in a similar position. Like you said, Joey, that kind of like immediate outpouring. Like I was just talking to my husband about it earlier this morning about how like I knew the way we handle this, all eyes were going to be on us at the moment, and we were going to get support. But I got the notification. I don't know why my phone went off at 3 a.m. to decide to tell me you crossed 900 subscribers. Congrats! And I'm like, why are you telling me this at 3? Like, one, cool. Two, why are you telling me this at 3 in the morning?
You know what's funny? I somebody that like before you both went to Game Explain, I think you both did a little bit on YouTube. I had not done anything on YouTube. So all the stuff I've done now on this channel has been completely new to me. And in that vein, I got an email from YouTube the other day that was like, hey, Jake, you're a YouTube partner. We love you. Here's a free Domino's pizza.
What?
And I was like, what is this?
I didn't know they did that.
Daddy Google buying me a Zara, dude? I had no idea. I was having the time of my life with that. I ordered that free pizza immediately.
All right. Well, now my road to becoming a YouTube partner has I need to come out with more stuff every single day. I need that free Domino's pizza.
Need that free Dommies. Yeah, delicious. So okay. So let's get into my little agenda here. My little questions that I've written down. So my first question, we'll start with Joey. Joey, where is your where are your thoughts and where's your enthusiasm for video games right now? You just mentioned that you're like, oh man, I've got a little bit of a break before I need to start panicking, before I need to, before I have that, oh my God, I've got to like run my life. Do you feel that in this break, you're still like all about games, or is it a little more nebulous than that? Are there other things you want to explore? Where's that level at for you right now?
My level with games is like it's confusing right now because there's a lot going on in my life currently. Other than, of course, losing my job, of course, is one of them. But also, like, more free time to play games, cool. But right now, I'm also thinking, all right, YouTube channel. I need to do stuff for my YouTube channel. And this is just like, and now I'm thinking about the games I want to play for content, which is kind of like it's a tug of war, right? It's just like one side's just like, do I play this for fun? I'm finishing right now. I'm in the middle of playing Half-Life 2, a game I have never beaten before in my life, my Half-Life. And but right now it's just like I got a code from somebody and I want to like play that game instead, but I also kind of want to finish Half-Life 2 first. It's a juggle, right? And I also got Gamescom coming up next week.
Lovely.
I'm still going to Gamescom.
Cool.
Like that was not organized through Game Explain. That was organized by a PR studio that was gracious enough to give me this opportunity. So I'm still going to that. My mind's on Gamescom right now too. So right now I'm in limbo with games. Okay. I'm very much in limbo, and
that makes sense.
But I've been playing a lot of good ones. I just finished Dungeons of Hinterberg. Play that game, everybody.
I saw your tweet about that. Joey. It moved me. It stuck in my mind. I was like, oh. All right, I put it on my list. It's on. Yeah, I'm gonna get to it.
This is your vibe, Jake.
I think it might be actually. So yeah. All right. So thank you for that. Tris, similarly, I think something that I noticed after I left Game Explain was that my relationship with video games changed, and I think being at Game Explain, as long as you have, you know what it's like to you're on top of the games as they're coming out. You're moving on to the next one. You don't really have the affordance to, when a big Nintendo game comes out, not really you got to beat it. Like you got to play that sucker. Yeah. Do you anticipate now that maybe that relationship could change and there's other things that you would want to do besides like kind of the newest and the latest?
Yeah, it definitely kind of depends on the game too. Like I no longer feel like if I'm not vibing with the game, I don't feel like I'm gonna have to finish it for the content kind of thing. Yes. I'm not looking at all the upcoming releases thinking, okay, what kind of guides am I gonna be able to do for that? Like obviously if I end up getting a job that's working in guides, then sure. But right now in terms of for my own channel, which this kind of avenue is entirely new to me because everything I've done before was either part of a different group coming up with these things or like way back in the high school days of like a Let's Play channel. So this is entirely different for me of figuring out what kind of video features and content I want to make based on new releases. And I think right now the way I'm looking at it is just what feels right. Like what strikes inspiration? Let me run with that and see where it goes.
Tris, you were on YouTube in high school?
Yes.
we are built different, you and I. That is incredible.
I was also on YouTube in high school.
Are you serious, Joey?
Yes, big time. Keep in mind, I wasn't like famous or anything, but that's how long I've been doing it. Like,
yeah.
I've been doing
How did you make a video? How did you make a video?
Here's what I did. I did. So I had two different YouTube channels. My first one of big, like, I had the stupidest username. I read this line in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. My freaking username was
Cheese Touch. Cheese Touch.
Zooey Mama. my username was Slap Happy Grandpappy, and all I did was I just made whatever the hell I wanted to make. One day I would come out with, here's me getting 100% on the song by Smashing Pumpkins in Rock Band, and then the next day here's some Super Smash Bros. Brawl bloopers. And
nice.
For some reason that video got like 50,000 views, and I don't understand why. It was not funny. But then I'm just like, you know what? I need to get an HD capture card, a 720p 30 FPS capture card, and straight up just do video game reviews like they do on IGN and GameSpot.
Whoa.
And I did that for like 3 years in high school, and then I stopped doing it. But when I graduated high school, I immediately went back into doing that. So,
yeah, you're kind of different from mine there, because for me it was late high school for me. Like it was I started a Let's Play channel with my friends, which the name of which came from a typo of cheering like woohoo as weehee, which is like Wii, like Nintendo Wii. And I'm like, wait, I love that. So I just ran with that. And we actually started that as a way for like my high school friend group to stick together after high school when we went out to college and stuff. So it would be incentive for us to get together, play games, and have little like Let's Play videos of them. And it wasn't anything like crazy, but had a lot of fun doing it. I did that for like 4 or 5 years actually, until I started doing actual like featured content at other outlets, because the equipment that I got for Weehee, like a 3DS capture card, it made me desirable for actually helping cover games.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Dude, owning a 3DS capture card is just like your life was set at that point. It's like I knew cinematographers that owned Red cameras, which are like,
of course.
Yeah. And if you owned a Red camera, you could like pay it off just by like renting it out to other people.
I feel like you could still do that. I'm into those. Yeah, that's cool. Oh wow, well that's crazy. I love this. It's funny. I think about high school, and I think about like when we would drive to the Steak and Shake, and we would get lost because we didn't have Google Maps on our phones yet. And you're like, and you two are like, oh, we were making videos on YouTube. I'm like, was I a Luddite? What was wrong with me? I don't know.
No, you were just normal.
I was, yeah. Oh God. All right. All right. Tris, who is somebody online that you admire and would want to work with?
Oh gosh, that's tough. There's so like I feel like there's so many, but I feel like especially like from my time at Game Explain, I made so many connections and I just like befriended so many people like across this industry, right? Like the first like 2 names that immediately come to mind because they were some of the first people to reach out to me when the news broke was John Cartwright of now like Good Vibes Gaming, formerly Game Explain, because he immediately reached out to me about it, and he was someone I wanted to work with way back before joining Game Explain.
Oh, the British John.
Yes,
of course, yes.
And then Krista Yang from Kit and Krista, because she reached out to me almost immediately as well. And Kit and Krista are fabulous, and I would love to do something with them at some point. That is more than simply covering the indie games that they're helping promote.
I want to give a shout out to John because I think both of you know, and I think my audience knows, that I don't consume a lot of YouTube gaming content, but John's tweets make me laugh. John has good tweets.
True.
John, I see a good tweet from John like once a week that I'm like, good tweet, sir. Yes. Joey, same question for you.
The only person that comes to mind for me is Scott the Woz, because I think when I started watching his content, and this was back when I took a little break from my own personal YouTube channel and I was doing stuff for Commonwealth Realm, I started watching his content again, just clever, fast, quick-witted, and just very detailed as well. He like kind of inspired me to get back into doing my own YouTube style, go back to my own channel with my own style. And I only say that because he's also like one of the only Nintendo YouTubers who I actually still don't know personally. I don't even know if he knows I exist. So, and that's the thing, like being in this industry, I started to see like all these YouTubers I looked up to as like people now, if that makes sense. Like, and also another part of it is like I just don't consume YouTube content as much as I used to, just because like I'm more busy in general as a person, even just without it being in my field. And so I think if I could ever do something with Scott, that would just kind of be a little dream come true. And shout out to Adzi in the chat, Joey going straight to the god of Nintendo content. Exactly. He kind of is.
The name comes up in my chat all the time when I'm streaming. This might be a stupid question to ask. What's a great for the people? Maybe this is incredibly stupid. What's a great Scott the Woz video to watch?
That's a good question.
Oh man,
that's a good question. Oh, okay.
I can't isolate a specific one.
He has a lot. Recently, he's come out. He used to come out with a video like every Sunday, but now he's since like taken long breaks between videos because now they're like movie length videos. So I have not caught up on his. I have not caught up on his recent videos at all. But
Gotcha.
I'm trying to remember which one. There's Scott Moss Christmas specials. Those are cool. I liked his analysis on Call of Duty games on Nintendo consoles, because that stuff just kind of fascinates me, because like the Nintendo consoles are not as powerful as like their competitors. So I always like to see the compromises that are made to those games.
Okay. Interesting. I'm on the channel. I now realize I must be a complete dunce for not knowing who this is. This is
No,
this
you're
is
not,
this
actually.
is this is unbelievable.
I
This
mean,
is like I could binge this for the rest of my life.
there's a
Well,
lot.
he is.
Okay.
I'm not surprised you don't know him that much, because I feel like he's been a little quiet recently. Like he's not on.
Okay.
He has a Twitter account. He doesn't post often. And he also, like I said, doesn't come out with videos as often as he used to, because
Okay.
now he just puts a ton of effort into one video.
Cool.
So
I like
they
it.
naturally just need more time.
So when I ask you who you want to work with, both of you chose people who are currently operating in the YouTube space. I think that's so
Yes.
interesting. Do you do both of you kind of picture for yourselves, Tris, first, like this is where you want to be? You want to be on YouTube specifically? This is where you're trying to operate?
I think right now, because it's the area I'm most familiar in, it's the area I've been working in for the last 4 years. It's the area I'm most comfortable working in, that I would like to do more in this space. But it's definitely, at least in my case, because I went to college for game development. I know I could always try falling back more into that side of things if I wanted to professionally.
Cool.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
Joey,
and I also thought the question did relate only to like the people in our field. But if I knew that you meant like overall, I would have been like, "Oh, Steven Spielberg, hit me up, bro. Come on,
Yeah, sure.
let's make something together."
Yeah. Listen, him and me, our last names are like 3 letters away.
That's true.
It's right there. Just a little a slip of the finger, and I'm his illegitimate son. And
Then you'd get the inheritance, Jake.
exactly, that's what I'm thinking. I go to the executor. Then okay, but Joey, you feel the same way. You're trying to do stuff on YouTube.
I am currently, yes,
Yeah.
but I don't see it as like a means to an end either. I don't want to
Okay.
be like, this is the only place I'm going to be for like the rest of my life, that
Yeah.
kind of thing. But it's fun to build a following.
Yeah, that is,
And
yeah,
it's
sure.
yeah, it's just fun, and people like just the fact that people are telling me like after getting I posted like, dude, I got like 5,000 subscribers in like a few days. It's crazy. Like
Yeah.
not in total, not like I didn't get it 5,000 5 days, more like 1,600. But some people told me, dude, they're coming here for you, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's just insane to
Yeah.
me. That's I still can't fathom that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I asked in the chat. I asked if anybody had questions for you two. I have a lot, but I feel like the people are here. They're hungry. So I just want to hit some of these questions really quick. First, Renee in the chat says, "Please start a new channel, just the 3 of us." I love us, and not you. Us. Renee's like, we're a family. Okay. GVG succeeded. You have chemistry, fun, and qualities. Oh, that's my favorite kind of thing to have. It would be a shame never to see you on YouTube again. Well, listen. You got 2 people here who say they're going to be on YouTube all the time. I do this when I have the time. I think, to kind of call back to something that you said, Joey, about that when you leave YouTube, when I left Game Explain, I had already signed a couple of contracts and things that we had talked about, so I kind of knew what I was doing in the immediate aftermath. But even for me, it's like there is something I think that you two have that is scary for me in terms of fully committing to YouTube. Like it's a little more foreign in my head, just because the idea of like living on YouTube, that's only been an idea in my brain for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm still in that zone. But I was just thinking the other day, I was like, man, I've got like a television contract that's wrapping up at the end of this month. And I plan on taking some time off for like my wedding and stuff like that. But I'm like,
of course.
but I want to do like a dash to finish my book. But then after that, who knows? We're all going to be doing fun stuff on the internet. I want to give a shout out to my mod Bungle, who says, "Let's bear in mind that these are real human beings. Be respectful of what is being discussed. And if you have a question, please make it constructive. Got to be hard enough without us raging too." Yeah, I mean, I the amount of people that started in this stream are still here, and I think everybody understands that we're not out here trying to be like, I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I mean, listen, if I go back to my DMs, of course, I can see back when I quit in January, I said to Joey, Joey, I never want to see your ugly face again. You stink, you smell. Disgusting, awful, like poopy diaper. It's really just a lot about your smell.
You could smell me through the monitor. That's strange.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, but no, we're just having fun.
I love how I do have to point that out, though. I think a lot of people thought you and I had beef for some reason. Did you ever notice that?
Oh
That's
yeah.
so
No,
weird.
I noticed it from all angles. It was like, oh yeah, they all hate each other, and I'm like, dude, me and Joey are cracking jokes right now, dude. Like, what are you doing?
We took a selfie at Summer Game Fest.
Yeah. No, we were having fun the whole time through. I don't think any of us ever really had an issue with each other, and yeah. So I don't know. To speak from my perspective,
at any time there was ever any sort of issues, it really just kind of came down to like miscommunication, and then we talked about it, and then we were good.
Yeah, I think some we were good at quashing stuff. Yeah,
we definitely were. But it's just like I think some people need to realize that like when you work together with any group of people, it's never going to be sunshine and rainbows 100% of the time. And it's just like, hey, any disagreement that comes up or any problem comes up, it's also not the end of the freaking world. It's just, some people frustrate me online, but that's just
of course. Yeah, and I think like just my situation being different from yours, I quit and you two did not. I think there's always that like, oh, so there must be something behind that, like and I think it's just what works for me isn't what works for you, and I don't think it's any more complicated than that. Right. So I don't. Yeah. Okay. I really love this question from my mod, Lion of Demise. What is your favorite secret information did you guys know before that the public were allowed to know? So I think the heart of this question is something that you learned working at Game Explain, and you were like, I didn't know that's how that worked. Because that was a lot of my experience, was being like, this is how this works. Like reading an embargo, I was like, how dare you? How dare you? You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's so weird. I feel like the embargo things were new to me because, like, not for this channel and specifically, I've gotten embargoes before working at websites, but when I was working at nerdreactor.com, I don't remember getting embargoes for like anything, which is weird. And this was like in 2015. I don't know if the landscape changed so fast.
Right.
But so no, I will say there was nothing that was unfamiliar to me working at Game Explain. Like I already knew most of how everything worked, especially just being on YouTube and working in games media. I thought the question had to do with like, what are some secrets you knew about that you couldn't tell beforehand? And all I will say is like, and I said this on a stream before, when the September 2022 Direct happened and Metroid Prime Remastered was not there, I was shocked because I heard from somebody who definitely knew that this is a real game, and I was just like, where the fuck is it? I am so done waiting for this damn remaster.
I'm mostly thinking about like how the sausage gets made kind of stuff. I'm thinking about how like every 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. somebody's watching. Somebody's just in case something gets announced, getting ready to make that video. I know like when I was there, I don't even know if you still did this, but when we would like re-upload the trailers, and every time, and this was the thing Game Explain did for years. There were comments that were like, how'd you do this so fast? And I'm like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's anybody can do this. Like,
yeah, seriously. You just hit record in OBS and call it a day.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
God.
Yeah. What did surprise me though was like anticipating a 6 p.m. Pacific news drop.
Yeah.
I did not know that was the time when Nintendo normally drops news.
Yep. So that was 9 p.m. our time, 6 p.m. your time. Yep.
That's why
that felt like a Switch era thing, right?
Yeah, I feel like there was a time in 2020 though, or around that time, they did drop news at like 2 p.m. Pacific. I could be Nintendo Direct. Yeah, what were you gonna say, Tris?
There was a lot of like weird shift once the kind of pandemic hit of like when their news cycles were. Because I mean, there was a time they announced a partner showcase the midnight before it was gonna air. So like,
wait, seriously?
It was like the year. It was in 2020. So like clearly they didn't know what they were doing then either.
Wow.
Yeah.
But cool. That's kind of how I feel. Like this job kind of got me to realize exactly what the news cycle for Nintendo is like. You can almost kind of predict it a decent amount of the time. That when they go off that schedule, it's like, whoa, hold on, what are you doing, Nintendo?
Yeah, that's so true.
In ways that I never realized before, like you said, Joey, like the late night news drop. you can kind of get it down to a T. Like, okay, it's going to be on like a Thursday. There's an NSO announcement, and it's up in the air if it's going to release that day or if it's going to be for the following week, kind of thing. But then sometimes they'll just randomly be like, here at, I don't know, 4:00. Here's a random trailer for a really hyped up third party that we have a first party thing in. It's like, wait, what? Where was this?
Yeah.
Like, or everything going on with Emio through this summer. Like,
oh man,
that's like
Emio.
That's just a weird case, right?
That was a weird case. I showed Crystal that trailer, and she was like, "Okay, Nintendo, hold up." And then the final game itself is just friggin' Famicom Detective Club. Not saying it's going to be a bad game, but it's not the game I was wanting from that trailer, if that makes sense. But
to your original question, though, Jake, I think because you guys mentioned embargoes, and that was actually a big thing to me. Of while I had already had some experience with embargoes and knowing, especially from Nintendo, kind of like what things are allowed and what aren't, seeing the way different companies handle them and what they consider spoiler information was really interesting. Like, there are some games where they have all this information in trailers, but you're not allowed to talk about it from your experience.
Oh my God.
Makes no sense.
Yep.
There was a game. I don't know if I want to give it away, but you might be able to guess what it is. There was a game. The embargo said, do not ever post anything that beyond this point in the game, even though everything that was shown beyond that point in the game was shown on the trailer. It was shown in and this was a game where they showed everything. We're talking almost everything before release, but we couldn't do that. It was weird.
The big one to me was very specifically, and I can tell the whole story behind this one, of the preview event for Tears of the Kingdom, which was huge. I was so excited to cover that. That was such a big deal. And this was a big turning point too, because that was the last time we got to do anything big with Nintendo at Game Explain. I was so carefully following that embargo, and they were super detailed with that embargo. I don't think I've ever seen an embargo that detailed with what we can and can't show. And I put a lot of editing work into that. The exact time the embargo drops, IGN uploads the full thing.
I remember that.
And majority of their video breaks embargo. There was no IGN exclusive or any of that stuff. And it wasn't even all of IGN. It was specific subsections of IGN that had uploaded it. And there was no repercussions. There was no problems. And I remember other outlets were going out and complaining, we weren't allowed to even talk about this, but I guess IGN just gets the slap on the wrist, and there they go.
The thing is that, and I remember they fixed it. They changed whatever they uploaded.
Wow.
And to
Hours
me,
later.
I know. And to me, it was what it showed to me was I was like, oh, we're actually all the same. You think that the people at IGN have some secret knowledge or wisdom or technical expertise that you don't have. And then I remember watching those go up, and I'm like, oh, dude, they're just me. They're just somebody at home that cut in a video. I was like, oh, you're just me. That's So
it was just a case of that was a really interesting look into what embargoes are like, and then what it's like when other outlets don't follow them.
Oh
insane.
Man.
It really is insane.
Yeah. Man, we got a lot of good questions in here. I'm loving.
I want to highlight this one.
Oh, please do.
Specifically it's directed at you, Jake, because I want to know this too.
Okay.
This is from Andrew Martin. Have you ever considered voice acting for animated series, movies, and games? Because I want to know this too, Jake, because your voice is really freaking good, and I'm and I know voice acting is still a very competitive field, but I'm just dude. You got it. You could be the next Flash or something.
You have a very animated voice. It's true. You have a very animated voice.
Thank you. I still do a rare musical thing every now and then, and that's kind of as far as I go. No, I've never considered it. I think something. This is not to be vulnerable. To be a little vulnerable for a second with you all. As I've gotten older, I think when I was a kid, if I had to rate on a scale from 1 to 10 how much I craved attention when I was younger, that number would be a lot higher than it is now. And something that surprises me, genuinely, I was in the plays, I was in the musicals, I was the lead guy, and I loved that, and it gave me a lot of energy. I used to tour as a stand-up comedian. It gave me a lot of energy. And now I find when I'm in the spotlight, it actually exhausts my social battery more than it fills it up. And I like writing. I like the stuff underneath. I like that kind of thing. So it's hard for me to commit, but I also think I get this compliment a lot on my streams, and it always means so much to me. I think it's a very kind compliment. I don't think I'm quite as good as everybody thinks I am. And I have a reputation in the musical theater world for doing one role. There is one character that everybody in town just keeps casting me as. And you know why? Because it's just me. There's no acting. It's he's doing Jake. That's what they say. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just turning Jake up on the knob. So I get a little nervous when it's like, oh, you have to be somebody now. I'm like, I don't do that actually. I just do, how goofy am I? Is it, that's, yeah. But I appreciate that very much. I would listen, if somebody's watching this and they're like, Jake, hit me up, get in my email. It's on my Twitter. We can talk about it, and then I'll get scared and I'll tell you I'm not interested. But it'll be great nonetheless. Also, not to make this all about me, but FMI asks, where does Jake get his t-shirts?
I was sure Joey was about to ask where I don't know why I would ask that. Is it because it looks like we're kind of wearing the same t-shirt? I don't know. It's just
can I tell you
color.
something? I actually do get all my t-shirts from the same place because I am obsessed with the brand.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, so this is a great recommendation for everybody. It's cheap as heck, and the quality is unbelievable. 32degrees.com. The whole thing is that they make cool shirts for the summer and warm shirts for the winter. So you get your little base layers, that whatever the chemistry is of making the shirt, it's a whole 32 degrees, baby. You're always perfect. So I'm wearing like a cool now in the summer. Oh, I feel amazing. There's not a lick of sweat on this body, I tell you. So yeah, so it's great. So there you go. Shout out to 32 degrees. All right, everybody. The question is a sequel to the one I asked on the GX Discord from Super Aiden, because it's been on my mind a lot. What is your favorite Pokemon? Let's spice it up. Standard, legendary, and mythical. Joey, do you have a favorite Pokemon? Like a creature?
I care very little for Pokemon, if at all. So I'm just like, oh, whatever.
What do you feel when you see a Pikachu? What do you feel?
I feel nothing.
Whoa! Oh my God! Okay, wait. Let me show you something. Okay, you see this?
Uh-oh.
Okay, you see
Yes.
this? Okay, tell me what you feel.
Yeah.
Tell me what you feel. Hold on.
Okay, now I'm happy.
Okay, so yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I have a buddy. Buddy named Kyle, goes by Vanilla Soup on YouTube, and he also loves Psyduck to the max. So now I inadvertently love Psyduck as well.
Tris, I think your favorite Pokemon is Chandelure.
Yes.
Okay,
there we go.
And then your what was this? What was this standard legend? Do you have a favorite legendary?
Okay, once we get to like legendaries, mythicals, etc., they all kind of like blend together. The different like typings.
What's
for
a
me.
mythical? I don't know.
Yeah, the classification blend together for me. But I might say Latias. I loved Latias and Latias. Like growing up, I loved. I think it was Pokemon Heroes, that movie. Like I something about that I always loved. So I would probably say Latias.
Cool. Okay, I like it. Is there a mythical you would give a nod to?
I have to think of mythicals.
Yeah, think about it. I'm gonna go for legendary. It's so lame. The answer is Mewtwo. I'm so sorry. I love Mewtwo. I love him so much.
He's the GOAT. Like,
he's
let's be
so
real.
Cool. He's so cool. And I can't decide if I'm cringe for thinking. I truly think Mewtwo is so cool. And it's like, is that cringe of me to like think that?
He's the Shadow the Hedgehog of Pokemon. Am I wrong?
You know what? He is the ultimate life form in some ways.
He is.
Yeah.
He's kind of.
I can kind of see it.
Yeah, I can definitely see it.
Speaking of Shadow,
I found a mythical, by the way.
Okay, who's your mythical?
Okay,
who's your mythical, Tris?
Darkrai.
Wow, I would have thought Darkrai was a legendary. See,
Yeah,
I don't
right?
know how this. I don't know. I don't understand how this stuff works. No, it's crazy.
you know more than I do. I'm just the guy who was just like, all my friends were so into Pokemon, but it just did nothing for me as a kid. I don't know why.
Okay, Dusty Gogoon in the chat says never beating the Gen 1 or allegations. Okay, but hold on. My favorite mythical is Meltan. Tris, you know about Meltan?
Yes.
I love Meltan. Ooh, goopy guy. His head is like a nut. Like a nut and bolt kind of nut. It's like, oh, dude, it's great. It's great.
Also,
Joey,
I
I think
give a shout out to Deoxys seeing on this list because I thought Deoxys was just legendary.
I remember
That's just an alien. That's cool.
Whoa. Okay.
Pokemon has aliens, and what is this universe?
I think,
and not enough of them. Strangely enough,
I think my friend in the chat has a video coming out about Pokemon aliens. So I was just looking at that thumbnail, so I think that's coming out soon. But all right,
that's cool.
Very cool.
I
want to take over for a second because
take
there's
over,
a question we need to talk about.
Okay,
this
please.
is like the last thing I'll say. Bungalaroo said a few chats ago.
Okay.
Question specifically for Joey: how mad were you at Jake that he didn't like the Metroid Prime 4 trailer and then proceeded to pick it apart frame by frame? I didn't know he picked it apart frame by frame because I stopped listening to him.
I got so mad, Joey. I got so mad.
Here's the thing. You know that meme where it's just like the coolest thing ever and someone else is saying, this fucking sucks, actually? That's Jake. That is Jake. Let me tell you something. Here's the thing. Question 1. Did the trailer have Metroid Prime 4 gameplay? Yes. Okay. Greatest trailer ever. Come on.
There
Jake.
it is.
But to step back a little bit.
Yeah.
I get it though. Because it was fairly like there's some even choices of that trailer I wasn't a huge fan of. Like the sudden cut to that title. I was just like, okay, that was a little anticlimactic. And the way it began with Cosmic Gear, I was just like, also a little anticlimactic. But context is everything in this scenario.
Yeah.
And it's just like, this is the first gameplay we've seen in ever of this game. Yeah, if this was a trailer they just threw in there after like 2 trailers, I'd be like, oh, what the hell was that? But this was just like, okay, minute and a half, straight up gameplay. This is what the game looks like, 2025.
I love that note. I love that note really quick. Context is everything with this trailer. I think you're correct. I think that is what that was. But yeah, Tracy, you were gonna say.
Metroid Prime 4's like proper reveal trailer made me appreciate how rare it is for Nintendo to do cinematic trailers or like CG trailers.
Yeah.
Because I understood what I was looking at right away with the Metroid Prime 4 trailer, and I really appreciated that. Because it brings me back to like when Tears of the Kingdom was announced as Breath of the Wild 2, and it was like all cutscene. I'm like, that's cool, but what's it gonna be like? I got that right away from Metroid Prime 4. Sure, obviously the difference of one is releasing far closer to this trailer than the other one was, but it's still a case of when we're in an industry with too many like CG trailers and trailers that hype up the name, the title, and not so much what the game is about. I really appreciate how they had Metroid Prime 4 shown off.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, there are like 2 kinds of people. There's like the Joeys and the Jakes, and this trailer was for the Joeys. And I think the next trailer might be for the Jakes, though. I think
I would hope so.
Yeah, and I think that's the intention. Yeah, because it's like, it's funny, I have like these dumb rules in my head where I'm like, if you say a subtitle, I want to know why that game has that subtitle when you reveal it. And it's like Mario and Luigi Brothership. I saw it with my own eyes. Yeah. I saw that there's no, and then Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I hear Beyond and I'm like,
Beyond
Bed
what?
Bath. You know, it's like, it's like, I need to know. And but I understand the context, how important it was to just see the game in motion. What that proved to everybody.
It's real.
It's real, pretty much.
Yeah. So
and it's on Switch. It's not skipping Switch. I remember that being the rumor for the longest time.
Oh, Joey, you and I.
Dude, yeah, we've like Jake, you've told me like I'm like you've been telling me that you've been wanting to message me about how like everyone is just saying this and that about the game, like it's gonna skip the Switch. Oh, it's definitely gonna be a Switch 2 launch title. I'm just like, everybody, calm down. This is a Switch 1 game, like through and through.
Okay, can I tell you something that this we've DM'd a lot about this, and it's I think something I've noticed is like since when you both were kind of in YouTube in like the Wii U 3DS era, I think that obviously there are a lot more like Nintendo YouTubers now. Yeah. And sometimes I feel like they don't have the institutional knowledge. Sometimes I'm like, oh, you're little babies. You're little babies. You don't understand. And it's like, oh yeah, no, they're gonna put Metroid Prime 4 launch title on Switch 2, and me and Joey, we just kick our feet up and we laugh. We go, ho 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 ho.
Yes. Seriously, because it's like not to harp on this for too long, but it's just like it made sense for Zelda 2 times with Twilight Princess and Breath of the Wild, because like those games were launching originally on failures of consoles, the GameCube and the Wii U, so they kind of had to be on the next console, which by the way, the power jumps between those consoles, not big. We can probably expect the Switch 2 to be a big power jump. What's a better looking Switch 1 game going to do to like entice people to pick up a Switch 2? I don't.
And obviously there would have to be another like big family friendly launch title for people, and then whatever that is will just eat all of the goodwill that Metroid has because people will buy that game instead.
Yes,
and
exactly.
it makes way more sense to give that game its moment on the system that has the massive audience. And it's like who are all these people out there that are going to buy? Is Metroid Prime 4 going to sell millions of Switch 2 units? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if you put it on Switch 1, maybe the next Metroid, maybe everybody goes, "Oh, I loved that Metroid Prime 4."
And,
Another
yeah. And there's also like, for all we know, like considering we have several, to call back to something that Jake knows as this gets further in, we have several games that have come out over the last like year or so that very clearly might get some sort of like boost for the Switch 2 that might run better on Switch 2, because there's some games that clearly look like they might have been designed with Switch 2 in mind with its controllers.
Papier Mario?
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, it's fun. And I think I was just having a conversation with somebody the other day that I think people under anticipate how many Switch 1 games are going to come out after the Switch 2 comes out. I think people, which is a trend in the industry. It seems obvious to me, but yeah.
Huge trend. They're still making PS4 games.
Of course, it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah. So, not even that bad. Okay. Let's see what I got here.
Many questions. So many questions.
Okay, here's a fun question. Shortly after I left Game Explain, I became a target of a weird Gamergate movement. Did either one of you clock this? Oh, okay, all right. You know what I'm talking about.
I kept up with this for a while. It was ridiculous.
Could you believe that?
Because I know Alyssa. I met her before all this. So I saw like all this going on. I was keeping up with it for a while, and I cannot believe, like, I gotta be real, I was keeping up with that so much that I was worried the video I put out on Game Explain in June was gonna put me on that same list as you.
Oh, sure.
I was actually kind of worried about that.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Here's the thing. I have some, I don't want to say I have skin in this game, but here's the thing. The person whose name I will be, like, just not said out loud.
Thank you.
Yeah. We used to be friends.
Okay.
Yes. We supported each other on YouTube, like all this stuff. He even gave money to my Patreon. He was one of my Patreon supporters.
Okay.
But I actually blocked him before the whole this whole thing happened because he decided to just make content about the Game Explain drama of Jake leaving, and I'm just like, if you make content about that, just get out of my fucking life. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just like you're making my job harder. It's just like I don't want that. Just be gone with you. And then that was I already like cut ties with him. But then that whole drama happened, and I'm just like, oh, this dude is actually fucking insane. So like,
I just couldn't believe it. It was crazy because I'm like, oh, okay, I'm out of the games industry. Finally, I can go live my life. And then I was like the main character for a while. It was crazy. It was so weird. Man. I was like, I kept thinking, I was like, I wonder if I was still at Game Explain when this was going on, would everybody be like, Jake, you got to shut the fuck up? Like, I kept thinking about that. I'm like, man, I'm glad I'm not bringing anything on to anybody else. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, that was crazy.
Just absolute clown shit. I'm just like, you literally need to be institutionalized if you're just putting all this effort into something that doesn't matter. Imagine if you started a petition for something that mattered.
Oh,
clown shit.
That would be nice, but no.
Oh. Cool. All right, I just wondered. I wondered if you were gonna be like, "What are you talking about?" Or but no. Okay,
no.
Okay, I got a fun question.
Yes.
What do people want from a YouTube video?
Oh, that's such a good question.
What do people want?
There's never one consistent thing.
There's never one, but I can tell you what I want.
What do you want?
I want to be entertained. I would say entertained / informed, but if there's like one of those two things I want the most, it's being entertained. Because like, but it's weird. Sometimes different things can entertain me. Like I have a YouTube friend, BBK Dragoon. He's been making a lot of videos lately about, managing like your time, like playing games, tackling backlogs.
Okay.
So I guess you could say that's more of the information side of things, but I like the way he does his videos. He mainly just shows gameplay and then we never see his face, but we hear his voice, very soothing voice. And he gives very like, he just likes to He just likes to give very detailed information on how to like, I don't know, like even like the importance of replaying the games you love. It's what got me to replaying the Gears of War trilogy again, mainly because that new game excited me, right? But when it also comes to entertainment, I have another YouTube friend named Trav Guy. I'm just putting all my friends out there.
Trav Guy.
Yes.
Okay.
Trav. Yeah, he is such a good like YouTuber like in person. He makes so many like videos. He doesn't put them out often because he puts so much detail into his edits, which are just very detailed, very entertaining on their own. His commentary is hilarious. He incorporates some live action sketches in them. He's whatever YouTuber should strive to be. Also, his topics are between Metroid and also boomer shooters, which are two of my favorite genres of all time. So already I'm just like, your content has my attention, good sir.
Cool. I'm checking it out right now. These are some nice thumbnails.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a big thing when it comes to YouTube. It may less so be what people are looking for out of specific YouTube videos, and more so what they're looking out of the channel they're subscribed to. Because someone who watches a Let's Play channel is getting something different out of someone who watched Game Explain, keeping up with the news and all that. Those are very different things. People who are keeping up with like the millions of views, top trending YouTube videos every day are looking for something different than someone analyzing every detail of a trailer. And I think it kind of comes down to they want what you're. I want to say what you're defining your brand as. Because one thing I noticed with Game Explain, for example, is that the entire time Joey and I were there were always people that were upset at how much we were covering news and how little we were doing what Game Explain was like really known for, of like really deep analyses and really thorough reviews that over the last couple of years definitely started to drop off. Maybe there was a couple of those here and there and not as thorough as it once was before. And it's kind of a case of, I think people want what your brand is established as, whether you intended for it or not, to be certain topics.
Saying. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. The defined identity sets the expectation, and then you got to fulfill that expectation. Because you're right. There were definitely people like when I was at Game Explain that would come into a Jake video and they'd be like, "Can't you just shut up and report the news?" and I'm like, I can't. They, like, it's
so funny. I love the people who comment on reaction videos. Stop talking through the trailer, and I'm like, it's a reaction video,
brother. That always made me so mad. Oh my god, it's like you just want to watch this trailer with my dumb little face on the side. Like, are you? No, come on. Yeah,
I know, it's so weird. People, I also think people just bitch and moan for the sake of moaning.
Yeah. Joey, what is your most anticipated game for the rest of the year?
Oh, that's such a good question, because I really don't know. It's really tough. It's
you don't know.
It's like because Prime 4 is not coming out this year. Right. I don't know, but like I've been keeping my eyes on some games.
Okay.
Like lately, I've been trying to find games that I wouldn't exactly like have played otherwise, like smaller games, like Dungeons of Hinterberg. Not a game I would have expected to love as much as I did, but here we are, and it's not. I don't know if it's my game of the year, but it's certainly one of them. And after that, it's been that's the thing, right? Most recently, I've been very curious about like Star Wars Outlaws, because people have been responding to like the positive previews of it, like, how much did Ubisoft pay you? And I'm just like, you're making me want to buy this game just because of your pettiness. How dare something be good from a big AAA studio? I don't understand it. But other than that, there's not really much I'm like thirsty, extremely like starving for.
While not a full game release, are you excited for the second wave of Alan Wake DLC that should be happening this year?
I'll be looking forward to that, but I'm not also like craving for it. I need to know what it is first. Then I'll probably be excited, because who knows what it'll be? Who knows, right?
Joey,
and,
I think I feel like the Alan Wake franchise is in a position where they haven't missed in a minute. And I'm kind of just like, let them cook. But you mentioned the Star Wars game. I wanted to hit on that for a second, because we were both at Summer Game Fest, and and every single person I talked to had a different take about that Star Wars game. So I have no idea if it's garbage or if it's actually kind of good. And it's that Ubisoft thing where it's like some people love Ubisoft games. Like they're like, this is everything I could ever want from a video game. And then a lot of the times, personally, I bounce off of them. There's something about it just doesn't feel specific enough, almost. Yeah, and I every time I see gameplay for this game, I'm like, looks pretty high quality. I don't know. I'm interested in doing this.
I think the divisiveness is actually really interesting because usually there's such like a loud vocal like one side or the other with like some people saying the opposite. But if it's that divisive, I almost feel like that's a testament to what the game offers because people can't decide because it makes people come to terms with what they want out of it, right?
And when was the last time Ubisoft came out with a divisive game? I feel like most of their games lately have just been solid 6.5s or 7 out of 10s, if that makes sense.
Correct. Correct.
Safe, yes. Very like even the latest Assassin's Creed game. I plan on beating it at some time. I bought it because I had a gift card, but I'm still just like okay, this is fine. It's not anything special, really.
Right.
But although that new Assassin's Creed game is kind of like, it's from the Odyssey team. Okay. I love Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I might have to check this out. Feudal Japan? Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of into that too. I'm not even an Assassin's Creed boy, but this one I'm like, oh, it looks kind of, maybe I gotta be an Assassin's Creed boy. So, a funny question in the chat. I think this is interesting. Fisto wants to know: was GameXplain's motive to move to numerical review scores to be included in accolade trailers? I mean,
that's
Fisto, I think that is a good question too. I think was it? Did we have a meeting and did we go, all right, we want to be in accolade trailers? So, obviously not. But I do think I
didn't even think of that. To be honest.
No, yeah. I think it's more about being in review roundups. I think it's more about being in other places where your review gets posted alongside other numerical scores so that maybe somebody clicks on your because the thing is if you have a numerical score, you'll be posted in a few more places than if you didn't. So for a YouTube channel,
even though what GameXplain had before, going back to numbers, was much more telling as to how we actually felt about the game, it wasn't enough to people to look at it at a glance and understand. Because for some reason, I think it's just because people are so used to numbers that they kind of translate those. And people would always ask us so is it loved a 10 out of 10? Is it a 9 out of 10? And that's kind of hard to say. So I guess people want that number just because it's quick and easy and they don't question it.
Yeah. So, I gotta give a shout out to Lol Chuck. Loved Prince of Persia earlier this year. That reminds me, we talk about when was the last time Ubisoft made something that was divisive. Here's something objectively great from Ubisoft. Yeah. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which was also part of our topic, the first GameXplain review to get a numbered score.
Oh, was it?
And here's the thing. I gave it an 8 out of 10. The only thing stopping me from giving it a higher score was that there was quite a few technical issues I faced in my review build that kind of bogged it down for me a bit. But I gotta think those have been patched out, at least on Switch, hopefully. I've been thinking about going back to that game on PlayStation 5 for that sweet 4K 120 FPS on my VRR refresh rate, baby. But yeah.
Plus you get the trophies.
Yes, the trophies. But everyone, if you haven't bought Prince of Persia yet, go buy Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Apparently that game did not perform very well, which sucks because it's original and it's good. Yes.
And the thing about the original question too about the accolades and all that, a lot of accolade trailers actually don't even show the numbers. They use quotes from the reviews.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's interesting to me. There was a time years back, there was some Pokemon thing that I had reviewed, and they actually reached out to me wanting to use a quote from my review. I think it was the Crown Tundra DLC to Pokemon Sword and Shield, and they had asked to use a quote from my review, and then they never even ran the accolades trailer, so I never know if they ever ended up using it.
Yeah. So here's what happens. I've been asked before to use. Well, we have essentially. Right. There's been a few times this has happened. Metroid Dread, my proudest moment, getting that quote from my review in that accolades trailer. I was just
well, there you go. And that didn't have a score.
It did not have a score. But recently, there you go. Most recently, we're talking last week, SteamWorld Heist 2 put my numbered score in their accolades trailer, and I've seen ads for it everywhere on Instagram. You can see the 9 out of 10 on Game Explain. They should have put 9 out of 10 Game Explain quotation marks RIP, but whatever. That review came out literally 2 days before we lost our job. It's crazy.
No, please, Joey. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say not RIP. Game Explain's not dead, but I'm just kidding around. Whatnot.
Oh no, of course. Can either of you guess the accolades trailer I was in?
Oh my god. Don't tell me. I feel like I would know. Pokemon Detective Pikachu 2. I'm just kidding. I had to tell me. I don't know.
Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Hey, I would never have guessed that in a million years.
And the quote is so stupid because it's literally, I literally had no idea what quote they were using. They didn't say, they just asked. And I was like, and we were like, yeah, whatever. And it says, character customization, ... kind of rips. And they put that on screen.
That's actually really good.
I was like, why would you do this? Why would you? I don't, oh man. It was so
incredible.
Weird.
That's really
that's pretty good.
My quote from my review for Metroid Dread was, the art style is breathtaking. And I remember writing that line because I thought of Keanu Reeves saying, "You're breathtaking."
Oh, so, of course.
That just goes to show how much Keanu Reeves is in my mind 24/7.
Okay, this is just reminding me, funny behind the scenes moment, a little reveal for the chat. I thought this was the funniest interaction I ever had with like an embargo type thing. We did a sponsored video for Disney Speedstorm once.
Oh, I remember this.
And I did this video and we sent it to Disney and Disney gave me notes. And the notes I got from Disney were so funny. It was like, Jake, you cannot call Goofy the Goof. Like, please remove every, and literally the whole race I go, who's passing me? The Goof. The Goof is passing me. And it's, and I like, and there was so many like little things, because people know how I talk. And there were so many like little things like that. They're like, you cannot refer to Mike and Sully as the Monsters Inkies. I was like, no.
I can't with these notes.
Brand recognition, everybody.
I know. I was like, this is it. This is the mouse.
I'm not the least bit surprised, though. It's Disney.
Yeah.
Oh man. No,
they're the Nintendo. Them and Nintendo share lawyers. So no, they don't. But
okay.
They don't.
I was gonna say that'd be interesting.
Yes, it's so funny. Yeah, there's a comment I thought I was going to highlight. No, never mind. I forget everything. I don't know what we're talking about. I just threw the whole screen off.
I think Jake was. I think to go back to Jake's original question, I think it was about games we're excited for. The rest.
I was going to ask Tris, what is your most anticipated game? Because I feel like there's two big ones, and I'm curious which one you would say is numero uno.
You know, it's really funny. There's like the 3 really big Nintendo games coming out this year, and I think for the interesting conversation, I'm not going to say any of those 3. I'm going to say Marvel Rivals because I hope it comes out this year.
Oh my God, really, Tris? You and I both stop it. We know your most anticipated game is Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Don't lie to me.
Tris, I love Marvel Rivals.
Me too.
Tris, me and Adam were having I felt like a college student. We were on the voice chat playing Marvel Rivals. You see him? I'm getting him, Adam. Adam, I got him. Adam, I got him. It was so stupid, dude. It was we had so much fun. It was oh my God, that game's amazing.
Yeah, Marvel Rivals, the beta, the even the alpha like earlier this year, it was some of the most fun I've had like playing games with my friends like in recent months. We don't know if that's coming out this year. That might be next year, but it's definitely like one of my most anticipated titles because I've just had nothing but fun with that game so far.
Oh my God, Tris, who are you playing as?
I play a lot of Doctor Strange, but I played like a solid like 4 hours of Jeff the Landshark, and I love him.
Yes. Oh, I like Jeff too. Jeff's my favorite healer. I'm all about that.
He's so good. He's so fun.
Oh man, Tris, that makes me you're shocking the room right now. Oh my God.
I figured it would. That's why I wanted to say it because I think obviously I'm excited for Zelda Echoes.
Yeah.
That looks incredible. Obviously, I'm excited for the next Mario Party. Why wouldn't I be? We all know me. Obviously, after streaming every single Mario and Luigi game on Game Explain, I'm excited for Mario and Luigi Brothership. Of course I am. But those are all like the obvious answers for me. Like, of course I'm excited for all of those. So I'm gonna say I'm excited for them, and then there's not gonna be as much to talk about. So let's go for the one that you and I both love, Jake. That like it's kind of surprising because I never talked about that on Game Explain.
I'm really hoping its surprise comes out too. People are telling me no, but I'm on the hopium. I don't care.
Like if we had both the alpha and the beta in like a 2 to 3 month span, and we know they're going to Gamescom, there's probably going to be another thing for this game before the end of the year, if not a release at that point.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah. You know, I never gave a real answer, but I think I have 2 of them that I'm
lovely.
Please, looking forward to.
Yeah.
Astrobot.
Oh,
that's a great one.
Did you play it at Summer Games Fest?
No, I wasn't able to. Yeah, Sony doesn't talk to us. I wonder why. But anyway, and after that is actually Space Marine 2. Funny enough, I just played the first Warhammer Space Marine, so now I'm just like, okay, show me what you got, Space Marine 2. I didn't love Space Marine 1, but there was some really good stuff in there. If they just capitalize on what made Space Marine 1 good, dude, I'm all over Space Marine 2. Let's and the previews have been glowing for it. So yeah,
nice.
yeah. But yeah, Astrobot's first. It's coming out soon.
Yeah. Okay, let's hit Astrobot first.
Yes.
I feel like this is one of those moments. I'm watching this game and I go, I already know what this game's gonna get 9s and 10s, no question.
Yes.
And I feel like I would love to do a bet about out of like the top 20 reviews on Metacritic, how many of them will say Mario in the first 3 sentences.
Ooh,
I will say 6.
Oh, I'm going higher.
I also would go higher because this is gonna Sony people are gonna talk about how this is the 3D Mario they've been waiting for, but from Sony or something like that. Like,
well, did you specify like the first few sentences or something?
Yeah, first few sentences. First few sentences.
That's what I think.
Like,
some of them are gonna wait.
Subtitle, first 3 sentences.
I actually think they're gonna try to have it early on, so it hits that like the little preview of what's being said.
SEO.
So that
SEO.
Yeah, the SEO. Like if people are just like searching for Astrobot, see like PlayStation's answer to Mario, they're gonna go, "It's that good," and then click it. That's how that works.
I'm right there with you, Tris. I think there are going to be a lot of reviews where Mario is the first word. Mario's on PlayStation in the.
Okay, I'll double my number then to 12.
Okay. I'm just so interested in like what the discourse is going to be like, because I think this will be the first time I want to see how defensive are Nintendo fans going to be.
Oh, good question.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because this is going to come out, because a lot of these Nintendo Switch people, they don't have PS5s. This sweet little Astrobot's going to come out, and everybody's going to say, better than Mario Odyssey. And, it's I'm just curious what that, like, those like couple days are going to be like when the reviews drop before the game comes out and everything. Because there really hasn't been such an apparent challenger to the throne in anything like this in so long. So
yeah, this will be interesting too, because this is the first like Astrobot game. It's just called Astrobot because the first one is still stuck on PSVR 1.
That's right.
1, not even 2. They didn't even port it on PSVR 2. Pisses me off. And the second game was a packing game, but it was a really good packing game.
It's a good packing game. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd assume they spent 4 years working on this game. So I'm like, ooh, doggy. Astrobot's getting his time in the sun.
Smash Highlights in the chat says, what if they say the mustachioed plumber? I was thinking about this the other day. I think we should retire referring to Mario as a plumber. I think as a community, we should all say no more. No more. When was the last time he held a plunger?
The movie's not going to help that though.
Yeah. That's the problem. He did it in the movie.
No, that is Christopher Pratt. That is not my boy. That is not my boy. Okay, that is. I love this Pokemon-y person in the chat says, I've never heard of this game until now. And this is what I'm saying. There's a group of people out there, they don't know. And it's gonna hit like a meteor, dude. Like a meteor at the dinosaurs. And comparing it to Mario just because they're both platformers is stupid. It's like saying, no, I hear what you're saying, but it's not because they're both platformers. I think Astrobot studied Mario. I think I think you see it in how things are coded in that game.
That whimsy. That's the big
whimsy.
Thing. You can see the whimsy in its presentation and just the general like gameplay you see in those trailers.
Yeah.
But also, how can you not?
How can you
You
not?
can't ignore Mario if you're making a 3D
of course.
platformer.
Context is important. You should look at Mario. You should, yeah.
You should look right into his mustache, see all the strands of hair.
It won't be long though, because we're gonna get Astrobot this fall. Probably get a new Mario game next year. Am I right? It's about time.
I would be
3D Mario.
I would be shocked. I love what the chat here. Adzi says, good old Adam says, plumbers don't use plungers that often, and Moe says they also don't wear ties. For those who don't know, just look up plumbers don't wear ties or don't.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yes. Oh man, your whole family's plumbers, Adam? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I did know that about Adam. Yeah.
Oh, hey Adam, I want you to know I'm gonna see Hosier in September. Are you jealous? But yes. All right.
Okay. So most anticipated games: Marvel Rivals, Astrobot's in there. That what is it? Space Marines.
Space Marine 2.
Space Marine 2. And this is the one that's like it's like Gears of War kind of.
I thought it was, but it's actually not. It's just the gameplay, at least of the first one. It's like a shooter / hack and slash. This new game is pretty much capitalizing on that. It looks like Gears of War, but it plays nothing like Gears of War almost.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like it. But it's all about tackling these hordes, and I mean hordes of enemies. This time it's because I think the original developer of the first game went bankrupt or something. But this time it's from the development team who did the World War Z game. There's a lot of zombies in those games.
Okay.
So there's going to be a lot of aliens. I know nothing about the Warhammer universe at all. I still don't fully understand what it is. But Space Marines, the first one had some fun moments, lots of fun moments. The story was weak. That was pretty much about it. It got a little repetitive near the end. But this game looks like it's really just capitalizing on what made the first game great. I mean, they've had 13 years to figure out how to make a good sequel to Space Marine. Yeah, it's been a long time. So I'm excited.
I will say, for me, I can't believe I'm even saying this, but oh, buddy.
Yes.
I believe you're saying it.
I see, because I think, I don't know if you two are aware of this, but I had this saga where before I played Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, I went, there's no way this is as good as everybody says. There's literally no way. I was whining the whole time. I was like, there's this dumb GameCube game. Let's see what it's all about. And then I played it, and I pretty much got to the end, and I was like, all right, yeah, that's come on. Yes. That's one of the greats. It's one of the greats. And it got me in the mood. It got me in the Mario RPG mood. I think I was actually a little bit disappointed with Super Mario RPG last year. Mm-hmm. Loved Paper Mario this year, and this to me feels more like what I want. I think this has such a clear identity in and of itself. The translation of that original 2D art into this 3D art style is just beautiful. Yeah. And I think something that I've developed playing a lot of Pokemon games and just kind of growing up is that there was a time in my life where I would have hated this game because I need my RPGs to be hard. I need them to challenge me. And something has changed in the past couple of years where now I'm just like, I just want to go on a ride. I want to go on an adventure. Yeah, my priorities have changed. And it's like, and I don't know, it's like, I never get to the end of one of my Pokemon streams and go, you know what the problem is with this? It didn't make me grind enough. I'm like, shut up. Like, who cares, dude? So it's like, I just want that. We said the word whimsy earlier in this discussion. And I just like, I'm really appreciative of that. I just want to go somewhere for a couple of hours, have a good time. I want to do a crazy move like this and go, oh, I think it'll just be fun. Really. So yeah, I'm excited. For this game.
I love it when video games use the art of their box art for their game.
Yeah.
Like this is just I need you all to realize this. This is the first time Mario and Luigi's in 3D, like real 3D. Like that's insane to me. I've never played Mario.
Little moments. There's been little moments like the giant battles in Dream Team. Or the Bowser's Story remake, but it's very specific moments as opposed to this is the full game. Right. Finally fully in 3D and actualizing that art style.
Right.
Yeah. And so I will never get over our reaction to that, Tris, because not 60 seconds before the game was revealed, we said, "Oh, there's not gonna be Mario and Luigi in this direct. It's too soon." First thing they show, that was hilarious.
It was a minute in between, not even a minute in between. No, there won't be Mario and Luigi from you, me, and Andre, and then the direct starts with it. I was blown away.
Yes.
I was on the when I was talking to my chat about it, I was all on like, oh, these Mario RPGs, the remakes, it's because they've got a new one, but it'll be on Switch 2. So they're kind of repurposing some technology. So I was surprised to see this coming to Switch 1, but I think again, it's a sign of how the video game landscape has changed, and I think the Switch 1 will manage to stay relevant for a couple more years, a few more years down the line. Who knows how long? I like this question from Aganimo1. When working for another channel like GX, are you restricted from having your own channels on the side, or do you just not have the drive to do other videos separately? So, Aganim, I don't really know the answer in terms of were you restricted, because I didn't really have one. So I didn't even really think about that kind of thing. I think the answer is no.
Well, okay.
Well,
I think the answer is...
Here's the thing. Now that you've asked, we were restricted from...
Oh, okay. You were restricted. Okay.
Yes. I didn't... I avoided saying that out loud because I didn't want, like, I don't know.
You don't want to invite that kind of...
Because more people are going to be like, oh, Game Explain did this, bad channel, bad. I'm just so fucking sick of hearing that. We weren't necessarily allowed, quote unquote, to like stream on our own channels or even like make content on our own channels due to like conflict of interest or whatever. I didn't really mind it too much because I'm just like, okay, I work when I work and I don't do anything else, whatever. But I did ask Andre, hey, so my Alan Wake 2 reaction is not going to do well on Game Explain. Can I post it to my channel? He's just like, yeah, it'll do better there anyway. So that's like the one video I made in my time at Game Explain was that Alan Wake 2 reaction.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of similar for me. I mean, basically, this was kind of part of the widespread across many industries, just the idea of a non-compete agreement, the idea of you can't create content that's going to conflict with your job or, potentially take away from it. So like before Game Explain, I on my Twitch channel was primarily streaming Mario Kart most of the time. Well, that was part why eventually we introduced the Mario Kart Mondays over at Game Explain because I missed streaming Mario Kart and I could just do it there as opposed to on my own, because if I did it on my own, it might be taking away the audience from Game Explain who would watch from that. So like on paper, I get it. I missed it, but I was never like upset about it. Because realistically, I decided to start doing my own content. Like I have a Doctor Who podcast that I started this year because that has nothing to do with Game Explain. That's not part of a non-compete. But then earlier this year, the U.S. outlawed non-competes, which is kind of good. They completely they're getting rid of non-competes. They're now illegal, which is great across all industries. Because I actually learned how like really toxic those are across like any industry. But in general, though, I don't know if I even would have done my own content while at Game Explain, just because that's a lot of work. That's a lot of time to dedicate to content creation. So I think that's why, like, Joey, you and I are like jumping on this now because it fills the void from work of now we get to do our own thing.
Yes, it was very, like, I'll be honest, like, when I found out we weren't going to have this job anymore, I was just like, oh, that sucks. What am I going to do? But another part of me was just like, time for a return.
Exactly the same here.
Yeah, and I think the thing that is hard for people who are on the outside to see is that the trade that I think you are, I don't necessarily agree with the decision, but I think the trade that you are making when you work for a channel like Game Explain, at least how Game Explain was set up, I don't really know how these other channels are set up, but like we all had salaries, which meant we were being paid for our time Monday through Friday, every day, no matter what we were doing. And it's like, do you really want to invite like, oh, I'm not working on anything for Game Explain right now. I'm getting paid, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to work on a video for my own channel, and I'm going to get double, baby. It's like, I understand. So that's like most YouTubers are not getting paid for the time that they're, for anything outside of making a video. I'm getting paid to be on 9 a.m. News Watch. Like that's my, and then nothing happens. I go, woo, so yeah,
exactly.
Cool. When y'all were with Game Explain, did you brainstorm what concepts or videos you would release for an April Fool's joke? Yes,
we did.
Yeah, we did.
The late sometimes I feel like they would come out of nowhere though.
Yeah.
Like this year, Andre tagged me saying, "Joey, Metroid Prime 4 new trailer," and it was the Metroid Prime 4 FORE April Fool's joke, which I thought was brilliant.
That is good. That was
It
a
was
good
so
one.
good.
I
Yeah.
liked the fake Switch 2 though. I liked
I
that
really
thing.
liked that one.
Because I
Yes.
kind of unironically liked it. I was like, oh, I would not buy one. Yes. Cool.
Yes. Nintendo Switch for you.
Yeah, no, that was cool. So do either of you have a game of the year right now? I ask that question. It jumps to the heart and mind.
Ooh.
I don't. That's the thing, Jake. I
Doesn't-
genuinely don't know.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know right now. Earlier this year, I said Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth, but I fell off that game so hard.
Oh
Like,
man, what a bummer.
Not because of anything the game did. I was just like, this game's going to take me 100 hours to beat. I need to play something else right now. And I haven't returned to it since. And I feel like I have to beat it at some point since I've gotten so far in it. It's a good game. It's a really good game. You've
Yeah.
spoken highly of this game.
Oh, I love
But,
that game.
Yeah, one of these days, maybe. But yeah, as of right now, I don't know. I wouldn't even say like I praise Dungeons of Hinterberg, but I still wouldn't say that's my game of the year so far. That's the thing. I genuinely like don't know right now. I'm like scrolling through my games I've played so far this year list, and I still don't know. Maybe the closest one. And there was Dragon's Dogma 2, which I'm sorry, I liked it, but I didn't love it.
That's fine.
And Animal Well is really high up there.
Yeah.
Even Animal Well feel like it came and went though, if that makes sense. Like I played it and I was satisfied with it, but I haven't really thought about it too much.
Yeah, it's funny. I've played most of these, and Infinite Wealth for me, man, what a special game. I think about this all the time, just when I'm talking about that game. I feel like I enjoyed the first few hours of that game more than I enjoyed most games. There's a scene in that game I can't believe is in a video game. Or Joe, you'll know what I'm talking about. But
Yes.
it's like the main character goes and proposes to this girl, and then afterwards, and it doesn't go well. And afterwards, he's like with his boys, and his boys are like, "Brother, were you a feminist enough?" And he's like, I was. And they're like, it kind of sounds like you're being a bit of a pest, my guy. And like the way that it was so like modern, and it was so like sincere. I like couldn't believe that it was because I guess I'm just like used to some video games being like, there's a part of me that expects everything to be like Kingdom Hearts level of like, let's go, and I'm just like, all right, but it was just like real people. It was really cool. Yeah, that was such a cool game. Animal Well's not for me, but those kinds of games, they just don't hit for me.
It's Animal Well is like the most obscure Metroidvania I've ever played, but it's so rewarding when you figure out, oh, this frisbee, it's been long enough, I'm going to spoil this mechanic. This frisbee that I've been using the whole game, I can jump on it and I can fly past this gap. The game never tells me this. It's just it's so creative, and it's just like, maybe this is my game of the year so far. I'm not sure.
That does sound really cool, actually.
Do you have a game of the year so far?
It's tough. I literally have a document on my phone in like my notes app where I just it's like a list, and I just kind of like slide it around every now and then when I think about the game.
Yeah.
It's not my game of the year, but I do just have a note on here that it was only this year, even though it came out last year, that I played Alan Wake 2, and I really love that game. So I had that in my honorable mentions because it's not my game of the year for this year, but it was so good because it came out last year. But I mean, the three I'm torn between are obviously Paper Mario 1000 Year Doors remake. Having that game again just felt incredible, and that remake was so good. Another remake, Persona 3
Wait, hold on. Let me ask you about Paper Mario really quick.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, because now I'm a student of this game. In my streams, every stream somebody would come through and they would be like, "Hey, can you put the old music on? I love the old music." And I would do that. I'd do that little badge. I'd get the old music on. And I listened to it for a little while, and I'd go, "You idiot." The new music is so much better.
Oh,
Did
Jake,
you?
I am the same exact way. I much prefer the new music, and
Yeah.
neither of us have nostalgia for the original game, like in the slightest. I played a few hours of it, but I never like not enough to ever like be like, oh, that was so great, I'm so fun. And keep in mind, I'm only 3 chapters into this game. I still got a long way to go.
Yeah.
Maybe on my 11-hour flight to Germany, I'll play it on my Viture Pro XR glasses. I'm
Right.
excited.
Yeah, there you go.
do that again. But even still, yeah, it's just the new music.
Wait, Joey, I forgot you got those glasses.
Yes.
Oh my God, Joey, those are the glasses that I was like, nobody's gonna believe me, but they're actually good. Like, it's cool.
Yes.
And I'm
They
so
are.
glad that you have some now, and you're like, no,
You can
actually, these are, yeah.
You can actually see it right on my shelf there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my
They're
God, dude.
they just released an update so the colors are like way better now. So I'm just like,
dude.
yes, it's
That's cool.
so good. I want the neckband though. That lets me like
Yeah.
remote play on PlayStation and Xbox and stuff. But
Pretty cool.
They didn't send me that, so maybe I'll have to hit them up again. Who knows?
Yeah.
Or go out of your way to get it. Yeah, no, that's right. That actually sounds really cool. Jake, as someone who has incredible nostalgia for the original game and loves the original soundtrack, I'm with you. I prefer the new soundtrack so much more.
Oh,
I really do.
Yes, vindication. Vindicated. I am. You guys remember that song?
Yes.
No, I don't remember that song.
Yeah,
I'm
that was a big one in like the early 2000s TV scene. It was like that was all over the place, dude. One Tree Hill. You ever watch that show?
No, but I've heard of it.
Oh, that's a good one. All right, cool. Okay, wait. So and just on Paper Mario, Triss, I love Professor Frankly.
Yes.
Everyone says that Pennington is very Jake coded. That was the big. People saw Pennington and they were like, "That's just Jake. He's just doing Jake's." I love Pennington, dude. So I love Pennington. Man, that game. I just think that game's phenomenal. I had such a good time with that game. Did you, as somebody who had played it before, and I'm knowing you probably knows it like the back of your hand.
Right.
What was that like just going through and playing it again?
It felt really special, honestly. The fact that with the changes they made, that I could find something new in it this time. That like this is the game I used to play annually, just because it's like my second favorite game of all time. So actually getting to sit there and play through and see new things and want to discover new things. Let me see what new animations random characters have. Let me see or hear what the new music sounds like. Let me see if they hit anything new around here, because there's like some of the placements for things changed a bit, and it felt really special to get to do that again. It's something I don't think I ever could have gotten again just from playing through the original or like a mod of the original. Like, it's not the same. So getting to go through this, it was really special, and it's something I never expected to be able to get.
Cool. Yeah, big surprise. All right, cool. I didn't mean to cut you off though. You had 3 big games. That was your first one. What was your second? What was your second?
That was my first one.
Yeah.
The second is another remake, Persona 3 Reload, which was fantastic. I love Persona 3 in general, so getting that remake and all the updated music, the updated animations, the amount of voice acting that game has was really special. And to me, it kind of put Persona 5 to shame in some ways. I loved this game, and I'm like, wow, the level of quality in this, Persona 5 should have that. like the amount of voice acting, for example, like almost like every character interaction for the most part is voice acted, which is really special. And back in Persona 5, where do you have that? Oh, the very first social link at the very end of it. It's like, okay, well, they had the opportunity to have some really great vocal performances from these characters, and I loved it, honestly.
Yep.
Like that, it felt so special to go through that.
I'm ready for Persona 6. I'm ready. I'm so
soon TM, 3 years from now.
No, don't say that. Don't say it. Do you feel like the color is going to be green? You know how they all have a color?
I do think it would be green. I do think it would be green.
I don't know why. That gets me hyped. Like, I want a green game. I don't know. Yeah, Persona 3 Reload is cool. I still tell people it's like one of the most iconic things for me in gaming is just the summoning the persona by like shooting themselves in the head. I can't believe that is like that like, I don't know. It's powerful. Every time I see it, I'm still like, dang, they went for it. That's cool. Joey wants in the not you, Joey, but Joey in the chat wants to know: do you have to play Persona games in order? Absolutely not. My first Persona game was 4 Golden on the Vita, and I think it's still my favorite. If I'm being honest, I really like it. I like those characters. I like the mystery, the Midnight Channel. That's man, Teddy. I love Teddy. I love Teddy, Tris.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So do they don't have any story connections at all, do they?
I don't think so.
No, the most is actually in like spin-offs. You'll have characters meet each other, but not in like the main games.
Mm-hmm.
I think they might have make references, but that's about it. Like a character from 3 might like a minor character in 3 might appear in 4, for example, or posters of characters in 4 might appear in 5. But like that's it.
And what's the best place to start?
Oh, Joey, that's such a tough question.
That is
I guess it has to be Persona 5 Royal, right, Tris?
I would feel like that too, yeah.
I just feel like it's so like it's such a strong opener. Yeah, it's such a strong opening too.
Mm-hmm.
It's also on Switch, which might be the way to play it.
Yeah,
for
handheld. Sure. Those Persona games sing on a handheld.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah. Wasn't 5 also released on Vita?
In Japan, it was on PS3.
It was.
That's what was weird about it. Yeah, in Japan it was on
so
PS3.
Weird to me.
And we were waiting for it, and we're like, any day now. Cool. And Tris, your third game you're thinking about?
My last one is the Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail. Like the whole new expansion of Dawn Trail.
You nerd! Nerd! No.
See, but these are things I wouldn't normally get to say. Back on Game Explained, it makes it really interesting. But no, I fell in love with that MMO years ago, and this was my first time like being there when a new expansion fully released and getting to actually like experience it at the same time as everybody else. Cool. And it was really, really special. And I loved every moment with it.
Wow, that's awesome. I have a lot of friends that play that game. And every time a new content thing comes out and it's all over my Twitter feed, like what they had like big tacos in the new expansion. I'm just like, oh dang, I wish I got that inside joke. I want to know about the big tacos, but I don't know about them. Cool. Well, I think this has been fun. I think this has been a good catch up. We're gonna start wrapping things up. So if anybody that's been hanging out with us, first off, thank you so much. I've got links to Joey and Tris's YouTube channels in the description for this video. So make sure you click on over, hit that subscribe button, ring-a-ding-ding that bell. Am I right? Oh man, I always tell people on my like Pokemon streams and stuff, I'm like, isn't it just so awful in your life though if you're just like doing something and then you get a notification like Jake's going live? Like, doesn't that just ruin your day? And they're like, no, it's actually really convenient. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't dog too much on ringing the bell anymore. I get it. Yeah. But Joey, your first video back is live on your channel right now. Just kind of a little update video.
Yes, with a little intro I'm kind of proud of.
Yes, very cute. No, very fun intro. Very shades of SpongeBob, I would say.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, shades of SpongeBob. Because the.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Well, I was referencing the end of the first Alan Wake game where he typed return on the typewriter.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the first Alan Wake game?
Yes, it's the end of the DLC, because there was 2 DLC episodes that were epilogues to the first game, and he ends it with typing return, which is like, the entire theme of Alan Wake 2. Right. But I added Metroid Prime 2 music in there because that sounded like appropriate, because you know me.
Your artistry knows no bounds, Joey. And
thank you.
Joey, for the future of your channel, what kind of content do you imagine? First few steps out here, what's kind of on your agenda, if you feel like saying?
Well, right now I am working on a kind of review of sorts of a game that I have not played before. That's part of my favorite franchise of all time. I don't want to say what it is. I actually just went to my buddy Alan's house last night to film a segment for it there.
Cool.
What I like to do in my channel is I like to make things fun. I like to add some I wouldn't say a touch of humor. I try to make my videos as funny as possible. It's weird saying I try to make videos funny because, like, I don't know if people would agree with me on what funny is, but That's just what I like to do
Everyone's
here.
got different humor.
Yeah, exactly. So I was inspired by like the likes of Angry Video Game Nerd, his types of videos where he incorporates live action sketches. So that's what I want to do for my channel is I want to make like whether I'm focusing on one game in particular or like an overall gaming topic of sorts, that's what I'm planning to do on that for now.
I think something about you two that I've picked up on at least is I feel like you enjoy that process a lot. You like setting up the shots and recording the skits and putting that kind of thing together in a way that I think a lot of people that's like a lot of extra work for some people. I get the sense that you just that like feeds you a little bit.
It kind of does. Yeah. I mean, I went to school for filmmaking, so that's kind of like where my blood is. So
that makes sense.
I just like to make that about a topic I like, which is video games.
Yeah. One day, Joey, you'll direct the movie that I'm in. I'll be singing and dancing. You'll be shooting.
Yes.
What's it about? What do you think? What do we make? What's our movie about?
It's called Venom 4: The Laster Dance.
That's good. That's good. Eddie, we love Eddie. Okay. I love. Oh, don't get me started. All right, so
let's talk about the Venom movies. We'll do it.
I like it. Eddie, we have to make Ed love us.
Because when you said singing and dancing, I just thought of the Venom 3: The Last Dance trailer. I'm just like, it's the only possible way we can continue forward.
Man, I feel like I got some fun movies this fall to see. That's one of them. Joker 2, Moana 2. I'm like interested in the new Beetlejuice.
That looks good.
Yeah, I'm interested in these things. We got some fun movies.
Me too.
Okay, Tris. On your channel, what kind of content are people gonna see soon?
Well, I have an update video I'm working on of like the what's next for me.
Cool.
Like Joey was able to get his out early. I got the news while I was pet sitting at a friend's place, and I only got back over the weekend. So I'm a bit like delayed on that front. Yeah. So I've only I haven't been home too long. So like to actually start trying to get that out. But I have an update video that's gonna be going out, kind of updating like where I'm at in life and like what I plan to do with YouTube channel, Twitch channel, kind of content. And namely, the most fun I had at Game Explain was working on like video like fun video features. Like I had Curiosity Shop, for example, which was like really trying to do like weird kind of like deep dives on characters and obviously analyses. So, like, obviously, if we get a new Mario Party trailer soon, of course I'll do an analysis on it. I'm going to keep doing that kind of stuff. But I also want to actually dive into, like, new kinds of features. Like, so, like, for example, with the new Ace Attorney collection coming out next month, it's, like, kind of a golden age for that series, which means the next new one better be soon. So I want to do a little video actually going over like what that means for the series. Like I want to be able to look at games and characters in series that maybe I wouldn't have before at Game Explain because it probably wouldn't have done as well. Sure. And I want to be able to just like basically like have like feature videos on my interests, and I'll see where that takes me. Some of that will be very much in line with what I would have had on Game Explain, and some of it's like completely different, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that all kind of comes together for myself.
Yeah, yes, me too. We will watch your career with great interest.
And Tris, I know you have a Doctor Who podcast that you've been doing for a while now. How do people find that?
You can find that on it's called Genesis of the Doctor. It's on YouTube and it's on Patreon. And that's literally looking back at the 60 years of the show and watching like the original stuff.
Joey, are you considering any non-gaming content?
No. I dabbled in like movie content before, but not really. I have like I have another channel called JK Reacts because Joey Crystal, we like do we did movie trailer reactions, but like lately we just not had the energy to like set the camera react. We also have a child, so it's even harder to like do that nowadays.
No, now you get the child's reaction too.
That's true. You know what's funny? I'm apprehensive of putting him like on social media. Maybe the occasional Instagram post, but it's just like
understandable.
Putting kids online is just like kids nowadays when they turn 18 they sue their parents for posting them online.
No, good take. I will say my fiance came to me the other day and she said, Jake, if you wanted to do a Gilmore Girls rewatch podcast with me, I would do it. I could not believe that came out of her mouth. I was like, you're signing up for this? You know how annoying I'm gonna be? Are either of you familiar with Gilmore Girls?
I've seen a little bit, yeah.
Okay, there's really quick before we go, there's this thing that they do, this musical theme where they'll have different versions of it depending what the mood of the scene is, and it'll be like la 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 la, and then there's like a sad one where it's like la la, and I could talk about that for hours. That's good. That's gonna be 8 episodes, just ranking the different la la la's. I don't.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. when my boy Jojo was born and I was doing work, Crystal was the one taking care of him, but she had Gilmore Girls on like the entire time. She watched the whole series and that disappointing Netflix season. And like I managed to like be there for like the important bits of that show.
Yes.
Like when like that big argument Lorelai had with her mom when Rory didn't come home from prom. All the good stuff, you know.
Yeah.
All the good stuff.
I do. I feel so passionately about it. Oh my God. All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in for this stream. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be watching this on the VOD as well. So if you watched all the way through to the end, on a lot of my videos, I'll do this like a little bit where I'm like, oh, you made it all the way to the end, and I assume nobody sees it, and then I get way too many comments about it, and I'm like, oh, I gotta stop doing that. I gotta stop. They're watching. So now I'm like, all right, I just gotta be cool. I gotta end this thing. But best to you both. I'm sure we'll continue to talk and keep talking. I'm sure everybody here, I feel like we had great vibes in the chat. I think everybody's wishing you the best. And I'm sure, we picked up some more subscribers and some more viewers, and people are going to be waiting with hot anticipation to see that bell get rung in their notifications on their phone.
Oh, I do have one quick little question for you,
Okay.
Jake.
Oh, for me?
Yeah. Are you going to PAX West?
Tris, I'm approved.
Uh-huh.
I haven't decided if I'm going or not.
Okay, because
I know it's in like
I got everything cleared. Cleared. I'm still going, and I'm not missing out on that opportunity. So
my wedding is so close that I'm like, what am I doing?
That's fair.
Right.
I mostly just don't want to get sick. Every time I go on one of these trips, I get sick, and
understandable.
And it's so hard not to. There's so many people. So that's what I'm waiting.
The weird thing for me is I get sick locally instead of when I go out. Like when I first had the COVID, it was my husband picked it up from work, not when I went out to events or anything.
Of course.
Which is really, really weird. When I came back from Disney World like a month and a half ago, my husband got COVID from the plane. Somehow I didn't.
No.
I had no idea how, but it's kind of ridiculous. So no, I definitely understand that.
These germs don't make any goddamn sense. They don't.
They don't. Thank you, Joey. And everybody keep that in mind. Remember to wash your hands and drink plenty of water. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Tris.